The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
The Badger Hockey Digest, presented by Charter Communications.
Hi, welcome to the Badger Hockey Digest, brought to you by Charter. I'm the radio voice of Wisconsin Hockey, Brian Posick, with head coach Mike Eaves, and in between us, the Broadmoor Trophy, which Wisconsin won on Saturday night at the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul after winning the WCHA Final Five with a 3-2 win over Colorado College. And Mike, congratulations to win 3 games in 3 days and knowing what was at stake to get into the NCAA tournament. That was quite an accomplishment.
It really was. I think the last time that we witnessed somebody winning 3 games in 3 nights was Minnesota Duluth did it a few years back here. I was trying to remember whether that's the year they won. I don't think it was, but to win 3 games in 3 nights is quite an accomplishment, and what was at stake makes it even that more precious.
Yeah, you know, if the players were feeling any pressure to win 3 in a row and get to the big dance, they didn't show it, did they?
No, I think one of the reasons is because we've been through a lot this season, and this was just another thing that we had to deal with along our journey here. And the best part of this is we get to play another weekend, and as fun as this was, we're still writing a couple more chapters about this season.
Yep. Badgers won the opener on Thursday against Minnesota State 7-2. It's always fun to score 7 goals, but you said at that point, we can play better, and your team did play better the next couple of nights after a while.
Yeah, I guess it's just in the nature of coaches to think that you can always play better. I think that as athletes and as coaches and as people in general, we try to attain perfection. Mm-hmm. And in the back of your mind, you know that's not really attainable, but you try to get to as close as you can. And when we scored 7 goals on that first game, it was like we could have done some things better. And then when we won the next game, there were still some things we could have done better. And in the end, though, you're looking for the W, and the kids got that 3 times in a row.
Yeah, on Friday, the Badgers beat St. Cloud State 4-1, a team that was the #1 seed, and you got some timely goals there, and your goaltender, Joel Rumpel, was very solid, too.
No, it was, we might have got a little break there, too, on the one play that they looked at for a long time. But Joel, as goaltenders sometimes have to do, he gave us a little time to get our feet underneath us. We thought that St. Cloud had the pace early. They were rested. They came out hard. And by the middle of the last part of the second period into the third period, we played our best hockey and found a way to get some goals, and Joel was a big part of that win.
He certainly was. And then on Saturday, against a team that was also trying to win 3 straight and get to the NCAA tournament, Colorado College, you figured it would be a 1-goal game, and that's what it turned out to be.
Yeah, there's not a lot of energy left in that third game, and you kind of wonder what's going to happen. But we had shared with the kids, both Coach Shuchek and I have played or coached in the American Hockey League. We're playing 3 games in 3 nights. It's pretty common. Mm-hmm. And we shared our experiences that sometimes you play your best hockey because you have to play more intelligently because physically you don't have the same amount of energy. And then, Shui, we were also able to share that when you're in the Stanley Cup Finals, you're playing every other day for 2.5 months. You don't know what your body can do until you put yourselves in that situation. So don't sell yourself short. Go out there, play hard, smart, and as a team, and see what kind of game you can get.
Yeah, and while the guys may have been tired, one young man who looked awfully fresh was the tournament MVP, Nick Kurdilis, who had 3 goals and 6 points, a goal and an assist in the finale on Saturday. Had a chance to seal it a couple of times with a great steal denied by Joe Howe, then had a chance on an empty netter. But nevertheless, Nick played very, very well.
He was deserving. He played with great energy, and he has the history of coming up big in big games. And I don't know if it's part of his makeup or what it is, but he certainly rises to the occasion. And, along with his line mates, Mark Zangerle and Barnesy, they did a really good job. They were an important part of what got done this weekend.
Yeah, so the Badgers celebrating 50 years of the modern era of Wisconsin hockey and bid adieu to the WCHA and take the Broadmoor Trophy right along with them. Now it's the NCAA tournament heading to Manchester, New Hampshire. First up, UMass Lowell. We'll talk more about that matchup coming up after this from Charter.
Men love sports, but men can't always be at home with Charter TV watching sports. So men do what men have to do. They watch live ESPN on their mobile devices. Not simulated sports, real sports. Live ESPN, anytime, anywhere. Even here. Watch ESPN is available at no extra charge for Charter TV customers. Download the app or visit charter.net/on-the-go.
Before we get to Wisconsin's NCAA tournament opener against UMass Lowell, I wanted to mention, too, at the Final Five in St. Paul, not only did Nick Kerdiles earn tournament MVP honors, but Tyler Barnes, John Ramage, and Joel Rumpel all made the tournament team, the all-tournament team. Tyler Barnes had 4 goals up in St. Paul, and for a Minnesota kid to finally get a chance to skate in that rink, I know he was thrilled. But John Ramage has had a solid senior season, a 2-time captain. Since January 1, he has 7 goals and 17 points. It's great to see the production, but he's been a true leader for your club, hasn't he?
He really has. He's evolved into a consummate leader, if you will, in terms of being able to have a presence off the ice and in the locker room. But also with the way he's played and chipping in offensively, being in all situations, power play, penalty killing late in the game. And it's nice because it didn't come easy for John being a captain. I think last year when he became our captain, it was a learning curve for him. And I think he's learned to be comfortable in his own skin in terms of understanding. He has to do his part. Mm-hmm. He has to let other people do their part and trust them and delegate. And I think he's grown into a real complete leader at this point in his life.
Yeah, and it helps to have assistant captains like Derek Lee and Ryan Little and Frankie Simonelli to help out too.
No question. It's a good core of guys that can carry the message when the coaches leave the room. Mm-hmm. And then, you mentioned those guys, but it's everybody.
Yes.
You might go to a guy like Jake McCabe next, who was a captain of the World Junior team. And in what he learned in that tournament, he brings that to our team in the locker room, and I hear him on the bench, walking up and down the bench and saying a few comments that, here's a budding leader in his own right who's sharing his thoughts with his teammates at the right time. And I think that everybody has a little bit of leadership in them. They have to. They have to carry their weight and be in charge of themselves and then extend that to their teammates.
Yeah. After Wisconsin beat CC on Saturday night, I was watching the Badgers head coach. He shook hands with the folks on the bench, got a hug from Sean Frazier, deputy AD, and then you departed to the locker room.
Well, we hung on the bench there for a little while. We watched the guys get their individual awards, and then when it was time to take the team picture, it was their time. They blood, sweat, and tears are on the ice, and they got together. And if we have a chance to do something a little bit later, we'll certainly join them. But for right now, that was their time and their moment to share with each other.
And Mike got the game puck from Gary Shuchuk, your assistant coach, and Hart had as well. And Mike, you think about where this season was and what it's transpired into. I mean, you've done an excellent job, as has your staff. The kids have bought in and kept plugging away.
Yeah, it's been a most interesting journey, and there's been a lot of life lessons that I think have been offered to be learned here. Mm-hmm. And it'll be fun to talk to these young men later on down the line, what they remember about this year and the lessons they've learned and maybe how they've applied it to their own lives in terms of their wives and kids and their job situation, because it was not easy, Brian. It was a difficult time, but we hung in there together and good things have happened.
Yeah. To emphasize how strong the WCHA was this season, 6 teams made it to the big dance. In fact, Denver will join Wisconsin at the Northeast Regional in Manchester, New Hampshire, along with New Hampshire and UMass Lowell, which is the #1 seed. Norm Basin's club has 26 wins, won the Hockey East regular season and playoff championship. They're solid defensively, and they have a 6'4" freshman goaltender by the name of Connor Hellebuck, who has a 139 goals against and a save percentage of about .950. They're defensive oriented and a heck of a goaltender.
Yeah, they're a very balanced team. Good goaltending. Their defensemen play within themselves. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't hurt themselves. And they have some balanced scoring up front, and they work really, really hard. So it'll be almost like playing ourselves. You look at their numbers, and they're not overwhelming numbers except for their young goaltender, and we're similar to that. But it should be a heck of a game, and looking very much forward to getting out there and doing battle.
What's neat, too, is that Lowell is basically 40 minutes away from Manchester, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, it's their home state. They're hosting, so we should see some very good crowds at the rink this weekend for the NCAA Northeast Regional. We wish Mike Eaves and the Badgers the best of luck. By the way, Friday's game will start at 3:30. Saturday, if the Badgers win, it'll be at 5:30. You can hear both games on the Badger Sports Network, also online for free at badgersportsnetwork.com, and check your local listings for television coverage. My thanks to Mike Eaves, Jay Williams. I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.